And naturally, so yeah, and naturally, Revelation is one book that I used to see as too spiritual. And so, therefore, I always feel like I can't really relate with it. And that was the topic before me. As the day drew closer, I began to think of all topics, this, how do I go about it? This is a topic that people like, that I felt were for. It shouldn't be a worker. Like, it shouldn't be somebody like me they should have fixed on that, in this topic, like on that day for that topic. It should have been, maybe one of the ministers, or someone that is very conk, more spiritual. Like, I was looking at it as my, how can you give me, if it was a topic I could even, it would have been better. So I started thinking of a way to avoid it, and I already had a plan. I already had a plan that when it's getting closer to Sunday, and I have nothing to talk about, because I'd been trying to review it, there was nothing coming. So I just said to myself that, well, let's see how it goes. By the time it gets to Sunday, nothing comes. I already planned I wasn't going to be showing up. I was just going to call in. God forgive me, but I already had a plan. I was just going to call in, maybe sick or something, but I wasn't going to show up on that Sunday. So yeah, along the line, I'd add that at the back of my mind. But meanwhile, I was still trying to see if anything could come up. And for some reasons, I didn't just reach out to anybody. I wanted to, but I was thinking in my head that who do I want to reach out to? If I reach out to some people, how would they explain to me? Who they look like? This girl, obviously she's not spiritual enough. I was just in my head. I was just like, well, I don't know. For some reason, I didn't even care. Maybe that was it. I really never cared that whatever the case may be, worst come to worst, I wasn't going to show up. So yes, but guess what? I'm trying to tell you the role of the Holy Spirit as an helper and the role of the Holy Spirit as a teacher. As I already planned it, Saturday, imagine, I tried to do something on Friday, nothing was coming. In fact, in my head, I didn't have a full, I know, of course, I know of the Holy Spirit. I worked with him. But, of course, there are levels. And I knew quite all right that my level was not that, maybe so high or so cordial. So, and again, I didn't understand the Holy Spirit from that angle. The only aspect of the Holy Spirit I know is that yes, he helps, he speaks, he gives information, he helps you and all. And then I know he's also a teacher, but I never knew that he is a teacher of all things, even though the Bible said it. I didn't believe that because I didn't understand that. And me, I'm somebody that is practical. Though I hear people say it, like I hear people come say testimonies like the Holy Spirit helped me. Sometimes, trust me, I like to be as real as possible. There are sometimes that when people say things, it's better experienced. But I don't dive, or I don't support that statement that I say experience is the best teacher. Because it's not everything that you need to experience before you learn. But I'm of the opinion that when it comes to the matter of the Holy Spirit, experience is the best teacher. It's better you experience him yourself. When they are telling you, you will not understand. Because there are some things, it's just like when some people give some testimonies in those days when I was back then in school. Some of them sound like they are not real. That's because I've never experienced that dimension. So sometimes I'm like, which one is somebody who just want to say, I didn't do this, I just went, the Holy just told me this, some of the times I see them as extreme, especially if I had not, as I then, maybe I had not gotten to that level. I always felt like, this thing, is there no additional story to this thing? That because I don't see the Holy Spirit from that line, even though he is. But better experience with him made me to understand that he can be anything and he teaches all things. So my whole knowledge of the Holy Spirit was that, okay, but even if I was going to ask him to help me, perhaps I only needed him. In fact, when it took me time, I think it was Saturday, and I started to think that, okay, day is drawing closer. I've not gotten anybody to help me. Then I thought of it that, okay, why don't I speak to the Holy Spirit? Or maybe he was even the one that told me. And I felt like, okay, let me invite the Holy Spirit. But in my head, I was like, yes, what I even need you for? It's not for you to teach me per se, because this topic for me is too spiritual. I just need you to help me with Bible verses. Give me the correct, because of course it's a church, and then what people usually do is they open a lot of Bible verses that, and then I just needed to sound very spiritual and very, very worded. So I just needed him to give me suitable Bible verses that could, support what I was going to talk about. That was all I needed. Not the full understanding of the topic itself, because I saw it as too complex for me to even understand, or too spiritual for my mind as I did. So yeah, but I invited him to help me. At least in my mind, I was like, help me, shall give me Bible verses, tell me one or two things, let me shall be able to, I think it's always 15 minutes or 20, and I think 15 minutes or 10. Let me just be able to say something and go. But guess what? By the time I sincerely asked the Holy Spirit, imagine, that was my thought. On Saturday, believe you me, Saturday, 12 a.m., I still did not get a clue as to what to say. I couldn't get anything. I tried to do this. I tried to search online. Okay, let me even say one preaching that it did not gel. Nothing was coming. I don't even know why. It was blank. Like I don't want to say I was blank. It was blank. But guess what? When it was 5 a.m. Sunday morning, I woke up, and it dawned on me as I woke up just to take my normal prayers. And it dawned on me that, oh, why don't you even ask the Holy Spirit to help you with this? Even though time had gone, I had just 2 hours. In 2 hours, I should be in church preaching the topic. And guess what? I just said, Holy Spirit, please come and help me. Teach me this thing. To my greatest surprise, Holy Spirit is so sweet that he's truly an helper and a teacher. I never believed that it could come from that angle. Somebody that was expecting that would just give me Bible verse and all. Guess what? The Holy Spirit understands everything. This being taught me this spiritual thing in English. In fact, I can never forget, because what he started with was he was able to simplify the spirituality of the way I viewed that topic. He started with English. Perhaps he knew that maybe English is my best subject back in school. I mean, primary, secondary, and all. He started with figures of speech. And the Holy Spirit was likening that topic to something, to a particular figure of speech. He likened it up. He explained to me how it goes. In fact, when he was giving me the explanations, he even went to my childhood days. He drew me back to the childhood days. He was giving me some examples of something that, do I remember something that happened so time, then I can liken it. If you see the way the Holy Spirit was teaching me this thing, oh my goodness. I was like, so this topic that is so spiritual, the Holy see the format. Man, I was wowed. I said that was not enough. In about an hour or thereabout, or 45 minutes, because of course I had to prepare and all, and I had to be in job by 7. And of course be there early enough to even be able to get my cool before I go. But guess what? By the time they were going to call me to take my turn, the Holy Spirit had simplified. He gave me in English. He took me step by step. He gave me relevant examples. He now supported it with Bible verses. When I got on stage, then to crown it all, he gave me peace. He gave me the boldness to be able to confront and, and speak to people publicly. And then, of course, I started. And by the time I finished, me that before I was just looking for 2 things to say at least, I use Bible verse to cover up for the whole time so that time will be fast and go. The same me now became somebody that they were showing me time up about 3 times before I could stop. I became so worded that I didn't even know time had gone. And interestingly, after my preaching for the day, I finished and people were coming to meet me. Wow, I loved your preaching. It was really nice. It really blessed me. It was I really understood it. And in my mind, I'm like, me. In fact, that day after the service, I met with my pastor, and he was telling me, hey, you're a great teacher. Our great teacher. And in my head, I'm like, me, teacher. If only these people understood that at 5 a.m. this morning, I had no word. In fact, it was really smart for me to call in maybe sick or something. And me, the same me, using the Holy Spirit as my cheat code, is the same person they are calling a great teacher. And I was like, wow. From that day, I got home, I just knelt down, and I was standing in hall or in hue or in, AWE of the Holy Spirit. And I was like, God, you are the Holy Spirit. If it is music, if the Holy Spirit wants to teach you maths and he knows you did not understand it well, and you are a music person, maybe you play keyboard, he can come and teach you using keyboard. He can teach you with sounds that you will understand. That being can teach anything. So never underestimate or limit the Holy Spirit, because it's a good cheat code that can help you. See the way I got an added advantage. Anybody that had sent me that day, they'll say, oh, maybe I'd prepared for a long time, or maybe I am naturally endowed with the word. They would understand that the Holy Spirit was my leverage as a cheat code for my success on that day. So therefore, I indulge you to allow the Holy Spirit and use him as a cheat code in every area of your life. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.